wir das nicht gern. Natürlich hatten wir den Eindruck, dass sie gut gerüstet waren. Aber so, wie sie in Wirklichkeit. Und jetzt ist gar kein Zweifel, was sie hatten in ihren Schild.
Ganz klar.
Das ist,
Sie haben die ungeheuerste Rüstung, die Menschen denkbar ist. Also, wenn mir jemand gesagt hätte, dass ein Staat
Nearly 80 years after Adolf Hitler's reported death in a Berlin bunker, the idea that the Nazi dictator may have escaped Germany and lived out his final years in Argentina still refuses to die. In early 2025, renewed interest surged after declassified CIA files revealed that American intelligence continued investigating Hitler's sightings in South America for at least a decade after World War II. At the same time, Argentina announced it would release previously hidden documents related to Nazi fugitives who fled there after the war. Today we're taking a closer look into how these revelations have revived one of history's most persistent conspiracy theories and why some believe Hitler survived past 1945. CIA files and the hunt in South America. In April 2025, newly declassified CIA files shed light on how seriously the US government once took rumors of Hitler's survival. According to these documents, American agents received numerous reports throughout the 1950s and 60s alleging that Hitler had escaped to South America. One particular memo from 1955, released as part of the National Archives' Cold War disclosure effort, included a detailed claim from a former SS trooper who insisted Hitler was alive and well in Argentina. The file even includes sketches and descriptions of a secluded estate where the former dictator supposedly lived under an assumed identity. Though these reports were never confirmed, the CIA's continued interest suggests the agency wasn't quick to dismiss them. Intelligence officers tracked leads across Argentina, Paraguay, and Brazil, interviewing locals and gathering photographs. They also noted Argentina's history of offering safe haven to high-profile Nazis, including Adolf Eichmann and Josef Mengele. The files did not prove Hitler survived, but they do highlight the uncertainty and intrigue that persisted long after the war ended. Argentina's Nazi legacy. Argentina's role in harboring Nazi fugitives after World War II is well documented, but upcoming releases from the Argentine government may provide a deeper look into how widespread the network truly was. President Javier Milei recently announced plans to declassify thousands of intelligence and immigration records tied to the post-war influx of European nationals. This move has sparked speculation among researchers and amateur historians alike, who hope the files might include new details about known war criminals and perhaps even unknown figures. After the fall of the Third Reich, Argentina became a prime destination for former Nazis fleeing prosecution. The government of Juan Perón welcomed them, often turning a blind eye or even helping them establish new lives. Some were given new identities and protection in rural areas far from Buenos Aires. Researchers have long believed Argentina's military and intelligence agencies kept files on these individuals, and some of those archives could shed light on how many ex-Nazis entered the country and under what names. While most scholars agree there's no evidence Hitler was among them, the upcoming document dump could fill the gaps in the historical record. It may not prove a conspiracy, but it will certainly add new context to why these theories continue to hold public attention decades after Hitler's reported suicide. Eyewitness claims and reported sightings. Over the years, dozens of alleged sightings of Adolf Hitler in South America have been reported, often coming from remote areas of Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay. Some of the most persistent stories claim he lived in the Patagonian region of Argentina, a vast and sparsely populated landscape where fugitives could easily disappear. A 1945 FBI memo, later declassified, included claims from informants who said they saw a man matching Hitler's description living on a ranch near San Carlos de Bariloche, a town known for its strong German heritage. One of the more well-known claims came from a former German soldier who told CIA officers in 1955 that Hitler had been smuggled out of Germany via submarine and lived under protection in South America. Other stories described a man with a trimmed mustache and a distinct limp living in seclusion with a small group of loyalists. None of these accounts were confirmed, but the volume of tips kept intelligence services engaged. Journalists and independent investigators followed up on some of these leads, occasionally turning up photographs or interviews with locals who believed the story. While these claims often lack solid evidence, they have added fuel to a narrative that continues to attract curiosity. Skepticism from historians and forensic evidence. Mainstream historians have long dismissed the idea that Hitler survived beyond April 1945. According to records from Soviet forces, his body was discovered in the garden of the Reich Chancellery, partially burned in accordance with his orders. In 2000, a Russian archive released a fragment of a skull said to be Hitler's, though a later DNA test by American scientists revealed it likely belonged to a woman. Still, most forensic evidence, including dental records matched by Hitler's dentist's assistants, supports the conclusion that he died by suicide. Hugh Trevor Roper, a British historian who investigated Hitler's death shortly after the war, concluded with high confidence that Hitler died in the bunker. The consistency of testimony from those present in Berlin during the final days of the war has been a key reason the theory of his survival remains outside accepted historical consensus. Many experts argue the escape story has persisted, less because of evidence and more due to public fascination with mystery and unresolved endings. The combination of Soviet secrecy, gaps in early post-war records, and the escape of other high-profile Nazis helped give these theories a foothold. But from an academic point of view, the escape to Argentina remains unproven and highly unlikely. The role of the Odessa network and Nazi escape routes.
Für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe, dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Gib du jetzt eine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin.
One of the reasons the Hitler escape theory has persisted is the well-documented existence of Nazi escape networks, particularly the so-called Odessa network. While historians debate the full structure and scope of Odessa, it's widely accepted that organized routes helped thousands of former SS members and Nazi officials flee Europe after the war. These escape routes, often referred to as rat lines, led through countries like Italy and Spain, eventually guiding fugitives to South America. The Vatican, Red Cross, and sympathetic governments were sometimes unwitting participants, providing travel documents or protection that allowed these individuals to start new lives. Argentina, under Juan Perón, was one of the most welcoming destinations. The country granted asylum and often allowed ex-Nazis to live openly. Prominent figures like Adolf Hitler and Josef Mengele used these routes to settle there, lending credibility to the theory that Hitler could have done the same. Other conspiracies about Hitler and Nazi survival. Some believe Hitler escaped not just to South America, but to a secret Nazi base in Antarctica. This idea stems from post-war expeditions, Nazi interest in the continent, and speculative claims about hidden underground facilities. While entirely unsupported by credible evidence, the Antarctic theory has developed its own subculture, fueled by internet forums and fringe documentaries. There are also theories that Hitler was cloned, or that he escaped with advanced technology developed during the war. Some claim the Nazis created flying saucers or had access to futuristic weapons and used them to negotiate with world powers after the war. Others suggest a hidden colony of Nazis continued developing ideology and influence, laying the groundwork for future global movements. While these stories range from the outlandish to the absurd, they highlight a larger cultural fascination with the idea that evil did not die in the bunker, but instead dispersed and evolved. Now it's time to hear from you. Why do you think Hitler and the Nazis are so popular for conspiracy theories? Let us know in the comments section below.